Well, hello and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Vishvapani and thank you for joining me in this session in my series Beyond Breathing. So, in today's practice, we're going to be deepening our exploration of the breath, and we're going to be expanding our sense of the breath to include the whole body. So we'd love to hear from you about what you're bringing to the practice today. So please share. The great thing about these sessions is they can be interactive. So whatever your experience, whatever it is that you're bringing to the practice, we'd love to hear it, and you can use the chat to do that. So I'd like to share something of my own about just how I've come to understand this mysterious connection. In fact, maybe not that mysterious, but the importance of the connection between the body and the mind. So, an experience you can probably all relate to, calling a call center, being put on hold, being sent to this department and that department, and messed around. It takes time, and I hadn't put that much time aside, and all of that. Yeah, it's a part of modern life, that experience. And I was getting more and more unhappy with it, but not really looking at myself. And then I noticed that my stomach was doing this, and it was getting very, very tight. And I realized that I was on the verge of losing my temper and yelling at someone, some poor person sitting in a call center somewhere in the developing world. They really didn't deserve it, but they were about to get it with both barrels. Noticing my stomach doing that gave me the information I needed. I am getting frustrated. And what I need to do is not take it out on someone else. I need to deal with my frustration in a mindful way. And I was able to do that. I could breathe, I could feel myself relax, and things changed. I mean, I still didn't get my thing fixed, but that's life. So our bodies and our minds are woven together. We experience ourselves through the body to a large extent. And the body, when we bring awareness to the body in meditation, we become aware that it isn't just a matter of anatomy. The way that we experience the body isn't just about how the bones and the sinews and the muscles and all of that connect up together. All of that connects with our energy, our emotional experience, our mental experience, a certain kind of inward, internal experience for which in some ways there aren't really words. And this is what we're practicing in meditation. In the Buddhist tradition, we talk about mindfulness of the body, and it's one of the foundations of awareness or mindfulness, one of the grounds of meditation. And it's not just for beginners. It's not just, well, we get a sense of the body and then we get on to the real stuff. The Buddha said awakening is found in this fathom-long body and here alone. So, in the practice we're going to do today, which we're calling whole body breathing, there will be two elements. The first one is scanning our awareness through the body. We call that a body scan. And the second is whole body breathing, which I won't describe. I'll lead it through, but it comes from Thai meditation teaching. And personally, I find this a useful approach. I hope you do as well. So we'll take our time. We'll establish our posture with care. And what that means is getting a firm base, just checking our balance. You might like to just lean back, lean forward, and just feel where the balance is. Also lean to one side, lean to the other side, come back, feel what's central. We can do that with our head as well, backwards and forwards, side to side, shoulders little. Come to center, come to a poised, still position. It should be comfortable. Yeah, we're not looking for an endurance test. At the same time, it needs to be alert, upright, awake. So some sense of rising up, lifting up, opening out. Take a breath. In our own time, if we're going to close our eyes, which is generally what I recommend, doing so and breathing, settling. And bringing our awareness to this moment, this present moment. Just curiosity for what's here, what's happening right now. The first part is feeling the body in really simple ways. Just feeling the body resting on our support. Feeling the height of the body. Sensing the contact points where the body touches what's beneath us. And at the same time, feeling the body rising up, opening, shoulders falling back, long neck, then the chin will gently tuck in. And what do we find? What's here? What's present? That might include any pain or tightness or tension in the body. And a sense of how we are in this moment. So bringing our awareness to the feet in contact with the floor. And we're going to travel through the body, including the whole body. So from the feet, coming up the legs, again sensing any contact. If you're on the floor, there'll be contact maybe at the knees. So sensing the thigh, all the way up to the hips. At some point, the thigh is in contact with the support beneath us, perhaps feeling the contact with your hands, the inner thigh, the outer thigh, top and bottom. And just inhabiting the body. Imagine that the body is filling up, like it's filling up with water. We're filling it up with awareness. It's coming up from the bottom and it's filling all the way while we've got to the hips and then the groin and then the pelvic floor and the lower back. Just arriving in the body. And then coming up the tummy, perhaps noticing the movement of the tummy, then the spine and the whole of the back, feeling the back all the way from the base up along the spine, feeling the width of the back, the breadth of the back, the shoulders, down the arms to the hands and fingers, again filling up with awareness, presence, experience, and coming to the neck, the long neck, the open throat, the head balancing, pivoting, and the face, just letting the muscles and the eyeballs soften ease all around the face, softening, letting go, releasing. And the head as a whole, the scalp, the skull. So feeling the whole body. So just arriving in the body as a whole and letting our awareness move back down through the body, down to the tummy, breathing, settling. Just taking a pause to come to an awareness of the body. As we do so, we're probably noticing thoughts. Thoughts are our companion through this whole process. But noticing if they've been affecting you, noticing the kind of thoughts, just making an intention to give ourselves some space from thoughts, just for this moment, just for this time. And in this space, noticing the breath, feeling the breath moving in the belly, the tummy rising and falling. Feeling the breath in the chest, taking our awareness to the area around the heart, skin moving against our clothing. Shoulders moving with the breath. Perhaps we can notice that the back ribs also move. You'll notice this if you're lying down, but even sitting up, the whole rib cage moves, extends and it softens. The whole of the upper body gently moving. Now we're going to do something a little more intuitive. going to imagine that the breath is entering the body, not through the nose, but through between the shoulder blades. Breath is flowing in between the shoulder blades. Out in the face. Extending our awareness through the whole body. Feeling the breath flowing in and flowing out. Entering the body through the pores of the skin. Imagining that the breath flows in through the pores of the skin, flows out through the pores of the skin. Flowing into a central place, flowing back from that central space. Breath flowing in, breath flowing out. Breathing through the whole body, breathing through the skin. Feeling the flow of energy into the core, out through the body and through the skin. And just staying with this practice. Flowing in, flowing out. Working with thoughts in the usual way. Particularly sensitive to any sense of energy, wherever that may be in the body. Following the breath in, following the breath out. Sensitive to the body, to our energy, to our inner experience. So you might want to stay with this practice, but it'll guide us gradually in the other direction. So feeling the breath in just a normal way now. Feeling the breath flowing in through the nostrils. And just sensing the body checking in with ourselves, how we are, our emotional experience, what's going on, and starting to externalize our awareness. Just taking our time. Maybe introducing a little movement. Rolling our neck, moving our shoulders, and maybe that the body is quite sensitive, having just done this practice. So noticing the effect of doing that. And how is it to gradually make the transition to a more external awareness and opening our eyes. So let's just really take our time. And personally, I find that that exercise makes me very sensitive. It's a certain kind of awareness. It's a kind of thing, it's quite hard to put into words, but it makes me much more aware of the body in a different sort of way. It makes me aware of energy. It makes me aware, for one thing, that the breath is so much more than the movement of air and the exchange of oxygen. I mean, even on that level, the breath is something that happens in a cellular way. It's quite an intimate exchange. But there's something about the breath that we experience that's very different from anything to do with anatomy, for example. And at the same time, it's not the idea of the breath. It's the experience of the breath. Our ideas are just abstractions. But it's the same with all of these practices when we come to them through the body in a sensitive way. With loving kindness, yes, love, you can experience that as an emotion, but how do I know I'm feeling a certain emotion? In other words, what is going on in my experience that tells me, this is loving kindness, or anger, or any of those emotions? And the body is a big part of that. And I think, that's become increasingly clear to me through my years of meditation practice. Whatever we're doing in meditation needs to come from things that are quite concrete and direct. Personally, I like using the imagination a lot. And some of the live stream meditations I do have a lot of imagery and visualization. I like that. But that needs to build on what we can know directly in our immediate experience. And so that's what mindfulness of the body is about. In the practice today, it's really moving towards quite a subtle level of mindfulness of the body. I think that's helpful because it brings in this less easily defined aspect of the practice. But actually it starts with something really immediate. And the way we develop it is simply by noticing our body through the day. That's it. If I'm feeling tense and tight and don't want to be in my body, notice the body. If I'm feeling very sensual and open, feel the body. That's maybe a bit easier. If I'm busy and working on a computer or something like that, come back, feel the body. Exercise, walking, movement, just feel what's happening in a really immediate way. What do my fingers feel? What do my feet feel? What is that's it. That's it. I mean, there is something else, which is the body is our connection with nature, and maybe there's something a bit more mysterious about it, or the body perhaps is a key to that dimension of our experience. And let's just leave that undefined, because that's maybe where the imagination can grow. So I'm going to finish with a beautiful poem by the American poet Wendell Berry. He's a great man, Wendell Berry. He's a kind of sage of the environmental movement and a wonderful poet. And this poem, which is quite popular, is called The Peace of Wild Things. I think it's about the connection that we have with nature and how that wakens something in us. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought or grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Thank you for sharing this time. Please continue to explore your meditation practice with us. You can check out our daily live meditations. They're at round.glass or on our app. Have a great day and rest in the grace of the world.